We've reached the end of the regular season, and it's a rematch from way back in Week 2. Washington can sweep New York for the first time since 2011. It's the football team and the Giants. Next.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Washington football team. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, you look at our featured team here. They're squaring off against a very tough unit to throw against.
And this is not one of the better passing offenses in the league to begin with, Brandon. And to illustrate that point, they're down near the bottom of the power ranking, so the focus is going to need to be on possession-type throws. Whether they're trying to use their running backs or tight ends a little bit more, the big thing is to make sure the quarterback gets it out of his hands quickly to his receivers, and they hope to gain an advantage that way.
Just about set to go now in the snowy Meadowlands. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The former number 6 overall pick of 2019, Daniel Jones, trots out to lead this New York Giants offense.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-to-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Jones. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 31 yards on the punt there. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by the bearded one in his 17th season in the NFL, the well-traveled Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And I think by now, we know what we're going to get with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Veteran savvy, a ton of know-how, and the enthusiasm for playing and teaching the game, almost second to none. But he also has a bit of a tendency to be a loose cannon with the football. Oftentimes that works out. Sometimes it costs his team, but never a dull moment when he's on the field.
Now Fitzpatrick. Under pressure, and down he goes. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Third and long, Fitzpatrick following the sack. What can he and the gang come up with? Back to throw. Fitzpatrick. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. O'Shane Ximines providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
The competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Throwing, Jones. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Johnson on the return. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position. And I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league. But the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
Play action now. Fitzpatrick. This will be caught. It's Samuel. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Let's go.
Fitzpatrick on 3rd and 2. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A big play that time through the air. 31 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So after the big play, look at this. All the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick going to give to Gibson. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for. One of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Throwing Fitzpatrick. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. To throw, Fitzpatrick. Under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line. Leonard Williams in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to fourth down.
It's up about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. Dustin Hopkins now for the Washington field goal. This a 43-yard attempt. Hopkins' kick is good, and it's 3-0 Washington. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
New York's offense back out there and set to go. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones throwing deep for Galladay. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete. So, Charles, we have reached the end here of a long season, Week 18, which we don't say very often, although this is not the first Week 18 that the NFL has ever seen.
Not at all, and Brandon, some of the people might be a little bit too young to remember, but back in 1993, the league experimented with giving teams 2 open weeks for the year, and we also saw Week 18 when the league was on pause for a few weeks in 2001, following the attacks on September 11th.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in Week 2. And it was the Giants with a road victory, so they'll look for the sweep here in MetLife Stadium. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Jones. To Barkley on the check down. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it'll make it 2nd down. Back to throw. Jones finds his tight end Ingram. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Now Jones from the gun on 3rd down. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun at 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Again, he'll drop to throw. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Well, remember, they had a nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17. Another try after the first down sack. Jones, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. On the draw, this is Barkley. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A handoff for Gibson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Fitzpatrick now. He gets it to Sims, complete. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. 3rd and short yardage, Fitzpatrick. And down he goes. Fitzpatrick sacked. Leonard Williams able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Here's Jackson to return. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. New York ready to go again offensively. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
They showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Jones now from the gun on 3rd down. Finding some room at midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45.
That's a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Jones. He'll complete this to Ingram, his tight end. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he will have the Giants first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
And we tend to give those running backs that are slashers a lot of credit, but how about guys who are maulers? Because that's who you want in short yardage situations, and we just saw that occur right there, didn't we?
Vertical, downhill running. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. They set up the screen to Booker. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
Well, that's not exactly how they drew that one up, nor practiced it, because on 1st down, you're trying to get some yardage to set up 2nd and 3rd down calls. In this case, had to drop it off to his running back. But, boy, they closed quickly on that one and stopped him behind the line of scrimmage.
So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Gave a glimpse of his power that time. And then brought down at the 30. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. Here's Jones from the gun on 3rd down. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On 4th down, on is Graham Gano for the Giants field goal. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. Gano's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. For the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
And it's player spotlight time, and we shine that spotlight on Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. Got a man, it's Gibson, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. A throw on the quick slant, going to be complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
My goodness, they've come out locked in on this drive. Play calling, execution, they are fully in sync. 3 straight passes, 3 first downs. They're moving the ball downfield almost at will. This defense really struggling to find answers.
To the air again, Fitzpatrick. That's out to the flat for Gibson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. From the gun, Fitzpatrick. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Fitzpatrick. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. 3rd and goal for Fitzpatrick. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And Hopkins' kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We've got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
Kenny Golladay making his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They've targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways.
And the pass is intercepted. He was looking for Ingram. Picked up by the former Giant, Landon Collins. And they're going to have a first down, and they're in field goal range as well as they're down inside the 20. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Following the interception here, Fitzpatrick. That's going to be caught by Samuel. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Ball at the 14 for 2nd and 5. Now Fitzpatrick. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Thomas. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. Again, it's Fitzpatrick. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Washington. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. The Washington offense ready to go to begin the third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half. As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
On play action, Fitzpatrick. Now he's going to drop this one down to Gibson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. On second down, a run with Gibson. Shifts by him. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Working out of the gun, Fitzpatrick. Throw right side, taken in by Gibson. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll make it 2nd down. Matt LaFleur loudly voicing his objections to that previous call. He's going to throw out the red challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. To throw is Fitzpatrick. Over the middle, complete. That's Sims. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. Now we've got whistles here before the snap, and I believe this is going to be on Washington. Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Maybe he was going to be involved in that play from his tight end spot, and he jumped.
Yeah, don't tell me that those guys don't like to block. That's what we say about them nowadays in the NFL. But I think he thought he was one of the key pieces in that play and wanted to get out and execute the assignment very fast.
They'll run with Gibson. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, Fitzpatrick. This one left side, caught by Gibson. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. They'll run with Gibson. Fights through him. He pushes forward from maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now we've got whistles here before the snap, and I believe this is going to be on Washington. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Fitzpatrick to throw it. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? To throw, Fitzpatrick. His pass caught at the 4. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Here's Fitzpatrick. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel, his 6th touchdown of the season. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Returning it, John Ross. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing, Jones. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jimmy Moreland. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. This defense, Charles, coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown in the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
A 1st down throw for Fitzpatrick. Hitting Samuel on the slant. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So another on-target throw, and that last one, Charles, going to put him up over 5,000 yards passing out for the season, and that is not an insignificant number.
Indeed it is not, because this is not a big list, and most of the guys on it, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, they either are or will be Hall of Famers.
Fitzpatrick now to throw on 1st down. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down. Here's Fitzpatrick. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
There's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Play fake. It's Fitzpatrick. The quick slant caught. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence. And that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll try to run with Gibson. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Antonio Gibson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And Washington able to capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. So this, Charles, a tight game through the first 2 quarters, but they've come out in this second half and really took the fight to them.
And you and I both know that in the locker room at halftime, both sides' head coaches emphasize the first 5 minutes of the second half, getting out and establishing yourselves. One team has definitely done that.
Hopkins with the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And now here's Ross. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jones. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. The Giants on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 8. Now Jones. Keeps himself, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Jonathan Allen drops him for a loss of 14 yards, and it also brings up 4th down.
Well, here's where having mobility sometimes can work against you as a quarterback. He thinks he can retreat and outrun the pressure. But that time, they zeroed in on him and took him down for a big loss, partner.
A really big loss. Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now a fair catch taken, maybe a yard or 2 shy of midfield. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Here we go on the next drive for Washington. And this game, it could very well turn out to be the shocker of the weekend. Not too many expecting them to come in here and win. And they're not just winning, they're dominating. And now trying to finish this one off. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Once more, Gibson. 43 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's a give to Gibson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. On 2nd down now. It's Gibson. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
3rd and short yardage. Fitzpatrick completes it to Samuel. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. That last pass might be one he remembers, Charles. He's now over 40,000 career passing yards.
And just think of the evolution of the passing game in the NFL. 40,000 at one time was unthinkable. No one thought anyone would ever get there. Now, how many guys have done it in the NFL?
Yeah, right around 20.
So we're talking a good number that have gotten that done, throwing the ball downfield. He's got a lot to be proud of and a lot more left to accomplish.
On 1st and 10, Fitzpatrick. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Lorenzo Carter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. And they'll run here with Gibson. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Washington on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and a mile. Gibson again. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Looking to throw. Jones to Shepard, complete over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Back to throw. Jones. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Jonathan Allen never giving up. He works his way to the QB for a loss of 12. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. To try again after the sack. Jones gets this quickly to Ingram. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Looking to throw. Jones. Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Deron Payne drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Forcing the incomplete pass on 4th down and then roughing the passer.
Your offense was ready to roll, ready to get out on the field and take over. Instead, self-inflicted. Now they have to stay on the field and play.
Jones on 1st and 10. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jones. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. Touchdown, Giants. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And give him credit, he deserves it. But this is such a breakdown defensively, my goodness. From a pass rush perspective, you know that they got to be coming hard on 4th down trying to get to the quarterback. But from a coverage perspective, how do you not see that play developing? And it turns into a touchdown.
Extra point try good by Gano. And that cuts this lead down to 13. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be covered up by Washington. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Gibson here running out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good size run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
Hopkins' kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. To throw is Jones.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So it's Washington getting the victory here. And despite the cold, despite the snow, this one was fun to watch, and I want to thank you for bringing 2 things, the space heater and the hot chocolate. Those were a big help for us here in the booth.
Yeah, just so you know, in the future, get your own space heater. Okay, I'm an only child. I don't share very often. But this had to bring out, like, the 12-year-old in us, didn't it? I mean, to be able to watch this, and let's face it, when you were that age, you didn't come inside until Mom screamed, "Get inside now, young man," because you wanted to be out there just having a good time, and actually you almost forgot just how cold it was. I'm sure these guys didn't, but they ended up playing just like those 12-year-olds and